There are two looping mechanisms in Python. A looping mechanism which allows us to execute a block of statements over and over again. What we studied so far is the for loop. Typically, you would use for loops when you know upfront how many iterations you want through the block of code. We've seen how to use for loops when you want to iterate over all items in a list. We know up ahead how many items are present in that list, iterating through the keys in a dictionary or iterating a certain number of times using range. But you might find yourself in a position where you want to perform a certain set of actions over and over again, but you don't know how many times those actions will be executed. All you know is the condition under which you'd want to stop executing those actions. In such situations, you will use a while loop. That is the second kind of looping mechanism that Python offers, where the number of iterations are unknown upfront. We only know the condition under which we have to stop iterating. Having to manually specify and check the condition to continue iterating with the loop makes while loop a little more tricky to use as compared with for loops, and it's more likely that you'll get into infinite loop situations here. Don't fear, debugging while loops is a skill that every programmer has to learn at some point in time. Let's start off with the very simple while loop here. We've initialized the count variable to 6, and while count is less than 5, we want to print out the value of count. So as long as count is less than 5, we'll enter into the while loop, into the indented block within while, and print out the value of count. Remember that we enter a while loop only when the condition is true, and we continue with the while loop so long as that condition remains true. Here in our example, we start off with the count value of 6 while count is less than 5. This condition is clearly false at the very beginning, which means we won't enter the while loop at all. Here the variable count will get the value 6, but nothing will be printed to screen. Let's now look at a situation where we get into an infinite loop. We keep looping through the while over and over again and never exit. Here, we've initialized the count variable to 4 to start off with. And then we have our while loop, which continues so long as count is less than 5, and we print out the value of count. And that's it. Now, what do you think will happen when you execute this cell? Let's try it. You hit Shift Enter and it goes on and on and on. And really, your program is just gone at this point in time. The only way to get out of this situation is to hit the stop button on the menu bar that you see highlighted. What you just encountered was your very first infinite loop, and the only way you got out of it was by interrupting the program. This is a keyboard interrupt, as you can see on screen. You can see the code that caused this infinite loop on screen up on top. Let's see why this infinite loop occurred. Initially, you set count is equal to 4, and you wanted to loop through your while loop so long as count was less than 5. Yes, count is indeed less than 5. We enter the while loop, print out the value of count, then go back for the next iteration. The condition is still true. So once again, we print out the value of count, go back to the beginning of the while loop. The condition is still true, and over again. One of the most important things for you to remember when you're using while loops is the fact that your condition has to evaluate to false at some point in time, and this can be done only by changing the variables that are involved in the condition within the while loop. In our current example, the value of count has to be reassigned to some value which will cause the condition to evaluate to false. Only then will the loop exit. Let's try the same example once again, but this time we'll avoid the infinite loop. Count is still initialized to 4. While count is less than 5, we want to print the count value. The second statement which we want executed within the while loop is reassigning the value of count. We now assign a value of 10 to count. We know that this statement is within the while loop because of the indentation. Once again, when you're using the while loop, you have to have the colon after you specified the condition. When you hit Shift Enter on this cell, you'll see that the loop has been executed exactly once. The value of count has been printed once, the value is 4, and then we exit the loop. This is because after we print the value of count when it's 4, we immediately assign 10 to count. When we go back to evaluating the loop condition, count is not less than 5. The condition evaluates to false, which means we come out of the loop. Here is a typical use case for a while loop. We want to print out a certain value a certain number of times. Here it is 5 times. We initialize the count variable to 0. So long as count is less than 5, we print out its value. In every loop iteration, we increment count by 1. We start off at count is equal to 0, count is printed, it then gets the value 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, and then finally 5. When count is equal to 5, the condition while count is less than 5 evaluates to false, and we break out of the loop. And if you look at the result here, you'll see that this is indeed true. We print count values from 0 through 4. Because we have full control over the count variable and how many times we iterate over this while loop, you can basically change the value by which you increment your counter. Here we have the same program as before, but for every loop iteration, we increment our count value by 2. If you look at the results for this while loop, you'll see count was initially equal to 0. 0 was printed. Count then got the value 2. 2 was printed. Then 4. 4 was printed. Count will now have the value 6. The condition evaluates to false and we get out of the loop. Under normal circumstances, you'll always use a for loop to iterate over a list so that you don't have to worry about evaluating conditions and so on. However, it is of course possible to iterate over the items in a list using a while loop. Let's see how we can do this. We'll work with the same list of tech companies that we've seen earlier. We can find the length of this list using the len built-in function, and we'll store it in the list underscore len variable. And here is the while loop that we can use to iterate through this list. We use a counter which is initialized to 0. So long as the value of count is less than the length of the list, we can print out that particular element at that index of the list. We'll print tech companies of count, where count is the index into the list. For every iteration, increment the count value by 1. This way we start off with the element at index 0, that is Google. Then we'll print out Apple, Facebook, Uber, and Intel. Because we are using the count variable to index into the tech companies list, it's important that the count variable always be less than the length of the list. Otherwise, we'll get an index error. This is something that you can try out for practice. Change the condition to while count is less than list len plus 10, for example, and see what happens to this while loop. And really, there is no reason to evaluate the length of the list outside of the while loop. You can specify len of tech companies within our while loop condition as well. Here count is initialized to 0. The while loop condition evaluates the length of the tech companies list, while count is less than len of tech companies. We use the len built-in function. Except for that tiny little change, this program is the same as the previous one. Just a couple of minutes ago, I'd asked you to try out a simple exercise. I'd asked you to try and iterate beyond the end of the list. Here, this is what we are trying to do. While count is less than 10, the length of our list is just 5, which means count will take on values which are beyond the end of the list. If you execute this bit of code, this will result in an index error. It clearly says list index out of range. When count took on the value 5, that's when this error occurred. That is the first element you try to access out of range of the list. What makes while loops really powerful is the fact that the conditional expression which we use to evaluate whether we should continue with the while loop or not can be basically just about anything. Here is a while loop with a slightly different conditional evaluation. Here we initialize the value of count to 7 and we want to iterate through this while loop so long as count is greater than equal to 0. We print out the value of count for every while loop iteration and then we decrement the value of count. This time we decrement by 3, but you can decrement by any number. Here is where we have to pay extra close attention when we are using while loops. Depending on the condition, make sure that the variable that you're using within the condition will basically cause the condition to be false at some point in time. Let's say instead of decrementing the value of count, you had incremented the value of count inside this while loop, then the condition of the while loop would have forever remained true and we would get into an infinite loop situation. Because we've been careful to decrement the count value, this while loop terminates. It first prints out the value of 7, then 4, then 1. Then the condition count greater than equal to 0 is false and we get out of the loop. Condition evaluation of a while loop can use logical operators as well. Here we are going to set up two counters, an increment counter and a decrement counter. The increment counter is initialized to 0, the decrement counter to 10. I'm going to use the logical OR operation within my while loop conditional expression. So long as increment count is greater than 5 or decrement count is greater than 5, we will be within this while loop. This one is a tricky one. Within the while loop, we print out the values of the increment counter as well as the decrement counter. We then increase the value of the increment counter by 1 and decrease the value of the decrement counter by 2. And finally, when we get out of the while loop, we want to print the final count values of both the increment as well as the decrement counter. Before you execute this cell, see if you can think through what values the increment and decrement counter will take on and what the result of this while loop will be. This is good practice for you to understand how the while loop works. And here is the result. We iterate through the loop 3 times and the final count values are 3 and 4. Let's see if we can figure out how we get here. When Python first encounters the while loop condition in the first iteration, it'll see that decrement counter greater than 5 is indeed true. It'll enter the while loop. The increment counter has a value of 0. The decrement counter has a value of 10. That's what is printed to screen. The increment counter now takes on the value 1. It's incremented by 1. The decrement counter is decremented by 2. It gets the value 8 for the next iteration. At the beginning of the next iteration, decrement count greater than 5 is still true. The while loop executes all its actions again. In this iteration, the values of 1 and 8 for the increment and decrement counter respectively is printed to screen. Increment counter value is incremented by 1. It now has the value 2. The decrement counter is decremented by 2. It now has the value 6. In the conditional expression, once again, decrement counter greater than 5 is true. One of the OR conditions is true. We enter the loop once again. We print out the values 2 and 6 in this iteration 3. Now the new values of the increment counter is 3 and for the decrement counter is 4. It has been decremented by 2. And this is where both our conditions are false. Increment counter is not greater than 5. It only has the value 3 and the decrement counter has the value 4, which is not greater than 5 as well. We'll come out of the loop and print out the final count values. While loops are especially useful in situations when we don't know how many times we have to go through the loop. For example, here we have a while loop which basically asks for an input from the user and basically continues asking for an input till it gets a number which is greater than or equal to 10. For every iteration, we'll print out the number to screen. And at the end, when we break out of the loop, we'll print out the final number which caused us to break out of the loop. Let's execute this cell. We'll enter a number 4. 4 is less than 10. So we continue with the while loop. Once again, it'll ask you to enter a new number. This time we enter the number 7. This number is less than 10. So our while loop condition evaluates to true. We re-enter the while loop. We enter the number 9. That's once again less than 10. Our while loop condition evaluates to true. We re-enter the while loop. This time we enter the number 22. 22 is greater than 10. Our while loop condition evaluates to false. We won't enter the loop. We'll break out of the loop and print the final value of the user input. Printing out the final values of the various variables that you've used within your while loop condition is a very good debugging aid when you want to see what it was that caused you to break out of the while loop. The break and continue statements that you encountered while working with for loops work with while loops as well. Let's see an example of that. Now, typically, when you're accepting user input, you might want to run the loop infinite number of times till the user specifies an input that causes you to terminate or break out of the loop. In such situations, you might set up a loop with the while true statement. Whenever you see a loop that starts with while true, look within the loop to ensure that it has a break statement. While true, this condition always evaluates to true. There is no way to terminate this loop unless you have a break statement in between. This break statement is what we are going to add now. We are going to print out the number that the user entered, and if that number is divisible by 5, we'll break out of the loop using the break command that you've seen earlier. And as a debugging aid to make sure that things are working correctly, we'll print out the final number which caused us to break out of the loop. This print statement is outside of the while loop. Let's execute this cell. This will prompt us for an input. We enter the number 3. That's not divisible by 5. 3 modulo 5 is not equal to 0. So we do not break out of the loop. While true continues to remain true, we enter the next iteration of the loop. This time we enter the number 6. 6 is not divisible by 5. 6 modulo 5 is not equal to 0. So we do not terminate the loop. While true continues to remain true, we go back for the next iteration. We enter 2. 2 once again is not divisible by 5. We enter 5, and this time the if condition is true. Num%5 is equal to 0 is true, which means the break statement is executed and the loop is terminated. We break out of the loop and print the final value of number. When we studied for loops, we studied the continue statement in a lot of detail. The continue command works with while loops as well, and it behaves in exactly the same way as before. Continue will basically skip the current iteration and go on to the next iteration of the while loop. Here is a while loop which runs to infinity because it's while true. We take a numeric input from the user. If the user specified number is divisible by 2, then we say continue. We don't want to execute the remaining statements that are part of this while loop. We want to go on to the next iteration of the loop where we ask for another input from the user. If the number is not divisible by 2, these other statements will be executed. We'll print out the number that the user entered. We'll then check whether the number is divisible by 5. If yes, we break out of the loop. Remember, you cannot have a loop with the while true condition without a break statement. That is an infinite loop. As usual, when we are out of the loop, we'll print out the number that caused us to exit. The first number that we input is 3. We'll first check whether 3 is divisible by 2. It's not, so we do not continue. We then check whether 3 is divisible by 5. It's not, so we do not break out of the loop. And then we re-enter for the next iteration. When we enter the number 4, notice that the print statement, which tells us what number we entered, is not executed. This is because of the continue statement. 4 is divisible by 2, which means we continue. We skip over all the remaining statements in the while loop and move on to the next iteration. The same thing holds true for the number 6. For all even numbers, we hit the continue statement and then we move on to the next iteration of the loop without printing out the number that the user entered. For the number 7, we print out you entered 7, but we continue with the loop. Now, when we enter the number 15, this number is not divisible by 2, so we do not hit the continue statement, but it is indeed divisible by 5, which means we break out of our while loop. And 15 is the number that caused us to hit the break statement.